about, just what different people are building in the space. I know it's definitely been a week of memes and drama and, people getting, rug pull. So it's great to see that the foundation of what the space is doing is still there and people are still building. Devs are doing something. Let's just put it like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off with what's been going on with crypto and NFTs. Where do you guys want to start it off? Let's see what happened. Well, maybe we could start off with something that I mentioned earlier, which is about the network congestions that happened this week. I know this is going to be a touchy subject, but we saw Bitcoin being congested. Now you see spaces, people are saying Bitcoin's broken, and all this drama. Now what they need layer twos. And it looks like Ethereum didn't produce blocks for 30 minutes yesterday, and the devs do not know why. So definitely been a crazy week in blockchain, I guess. Any comments or thoughts about either of those things?
Blame it on PEPEs.
Wait.
Blame it all on PEPEs and the meme coin, the craziness of meme coin. I think they're good, right? As Sam was saying, it's adoption. So it's great for the space that there's a new set of eyes that are, liking the space, and it's not necessarily for the right reason. I can see Brian in the back thieving, smoking, coming out of his ear because good lord, some people are using Bitcoin for other purposes than just sound money, but it's going to happen. You can't stop it. It's permissionless technology. So I actually think if you're a miner, this is great. You're making crazy money right now if you're a miner. So some people are pissed off. Obviously, if you have transactions, they're more expensive. It is annoying, but we do want adoption. So I think it's a good and a bad at the same time.
I feel like sometimes people, I just sit and smile. Like, do people really believe that like technology is all, is going to just run and be perfect all the time? It just boggles me that everyone's like, what? Something happened that's, something went wrong. Like in the world of everything going wrong. I don't know if that even made sense, but it's wild to me that people are like, this should be some sort of smooth perfectness, and that is just not the world we live in. It's just not. And like understanding the technology behind things, I think, is the first step to to like realizing that this is not perfectness. That's a total word.
Yeah, man, it's been lovely to see the BTC and ETH maxis going back at to which chain is less broken this week. I'm just loving it, and it's been lovely to see. Sorry, I saw somebody on mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was me. I'm sorry, but yeah, Dow, I feel like you deflected the whole half hour ETH no producing blocks thing. I think we need an explanation for that, Dow. Like, what's going on over here?
Yeah, I think it's complex, right? Like, I can stand here and say I understand what happened, but there's a difference between the beacon chain and the execution layer, right? So the best explanation I have is that the transaction or the finalization transaction was delayed by 30 minutes. It didn't necessarily mean that the chain stopped, right? You have different clients that validate your transaction, and then you have the process of finalization to say, okay, this transaction has been confirmed. So that process was delayed for 30 minutes. Now, why it happened, how it happened, I have no idea. I wish there was someone like me, Crypto Jesus, might be able to explain that, but yeah, that's
Well,
above my paycheck.
I don't even think the devs know what happened as of right now.
This sounds a little bit like similar, not the same at all, but similar to what happened with Bitcoin and Bitcoin like holding up transactions forever. But this happened with Ethereum for only a half an hour, as opposed to Bitcoin for like 4 days.
Yeah, maybe Brett, I think he has his hand up, so maybe you have some extra explanation for us.
GM gang. I mean, no, I don't have like the answer, right? I mean, like, I'm a dev, but like even in the Ethereum, like devs have no idea like really what's happening. But my theory, I do have a theory of what happened, and I think it has to do sort of with all of these meme coins and the not necessarily the coins themselves, but the paired liquidity pools that have been set up. And because they hold ETH in a pair, my theory is that there's been so many of these ETH locked up and whatnot that, I mean, we're losing incentive for miners, realistically. You know, I mean, like the miners are charging a certain amount to validate a transaction, and if there isn't that amount readily available to pay them, they're not gonna approve it. You know, and so I feel like if there's enough of that across enough nodes and miners, then you would get some delays. Again, that is a complete theory, as I've been like kind of racking my brain thinking about why the hell wouldn't it be working for 30 minutes? And that's really the only thing I could think of, is just that the incentives weren't enough for the miners due to all of these, MEV bots and LPs that are holding up all of the ETH in pairs with the crap coins. But again, I have no idea. I eat crayons.
So
Yeah.
we're all just throwing darts now. That's pretty much what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, the
Absolutely.
devs don't even know yet. It just said, but somebody did put something up there. And again, this is from an ETH, maximalist, whatever. I'm just going to say it. Gasper is truly an amazing consensus algorithm. Lose the 66% threshold, the validators, and he's basically saying that like the chain just restarted itself. So apparently Gasper is the amazing part that makes it restart itself. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that the Solana community is taking this and running with it. The memes on the timeline have been, hilarious. I'm here for it. Solana down, ETH down, BTC down. What's going on here?
I think it just goes to show that don't throw stones when you live in a fishbowl. Like, this can happen. Like Brooke said, nothing is going to work. Nothing is going to work 100% of the time, right? Shit's going to happen. It's going to go, things will go awry.
I agree. And with Solana, I mean, I know that they get the jabs all the time too. So that was probably their moment to have their jabs back, that, hey, it's not just us guys.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what we got Brian up here. Brian, you're coming to defend Ethereum being down or Bitcoin being broken? Which
He's
one?
He's an ETH maxi now, if y'all didn't
I used
know.
to be one. No, I finally got a minute. But yeah, what's the narrative we're spinning today? It broke, it didn't work. What's the narrative today?
No, we were just talking that, there was obviously some congestion on the Bitcoin network. The narrative has been that Bitcoin is quote unquote broken. Do you want to tell us what actually happened?
Yeah, what actually happened is people were paying to use the block space, and it was broken because they were too poor to afford it. But blocks were being pumped out every 10 minutes, and yeah, nothing broke.
What do you mean they were too poor to afford it? So it's pay to play?
Always has been, baby. Welcome to capitalism.
Yeah, I think the issue is that if you didn't put a high transaction fee, you probably have to wait for days, right, for your transaction to go through.
Yeah, pretty much. But yesterday it was quote unquote congested too, and I was transacting just fine, no problem, getting in a block every 10 minutes. It's just you gotta pay. You pay to play. If you really gotta get into a block, you better bump that fee up. If not, well, then you gotta wait.
What a wonderful way to spread adoption. Thank you, Brian. Very.
This is what we need, scaling
inspirational
solutions. I mean, like
I agree.
The thing is, if you look at it this way, right? Like we've had some good adoption of those chains, but they're not meant necessarily to encapsulate all the activity of, let's say, the financial markets and NFTs and gaming, all that stuff. Like if we really want on board tens of millions of users, what we have is not ready to scale, right? So we need scaling solutions. We need other engineers, like even the Fiddler or Tim, what they're doing is great, to think outside of what we have and to expand it. But I think to Brooke's point, like those things are going to have some hiccups. They're going to have some issues because it's just not ready. And the technology is new. Like I know it feels like we've been here forever, but 13 years in the new technology is baby steps. We're still the early days.
And by the way, Dow, I agree with you that we need scaling solutions. Like, I wish we would fucking activate BIP 119, but everybody wants to be a bitch and cry about it because they're like, oh my God, Taproot was an attack and blah, blah, blah. They pushed this shit through with speedy trial. And so now here we are LARPing about the Lightning Network, nobody able to open channels because everybody wants to just cry about Jeremy Rubin being a Mossad agent.
We also got to get the BIP for Ordinals to go through. Like, this is ridiculous. You guys are running really slow.
Already got denied.
Can you get that process started? I will support you.
What, the fucking Ordinal BIP?
That process started, bro. There's a GitHub for that.
Casey already
that won't
did
get
it.
rejected, so you got to throw another one. Yeah, like, you got to keep going until they accept one.
It's not up to me. It's up to Casey. He's the one who made it.
But it's permissionless. So technically, even if KC was not for it, anyone can propose it, and then the community can review it and say, "Well, that makes sense." It just so happened that.
Yeah, anybody can do it. It's just Casey's the only one who cares enough to do it.
They're working on it now. They're gonna propose it again. It's not like they're not working on it. They go back and forth. What do you mean?
Yeah, I doubt it. It got outright rejected. I was part of that discussion about approving it or not, and I rejected it too.
Wow.
But what if there's enough of a marketplace, right? Like, because right now we're talking about like the Ordi and the BRC20s, and there's still a small market. But what if they become significant?
So the thing about BIPs DAO is that they don't dictate how the actual chain works. They're kind of just formal documentation that like just gets a stamp of approval. It's basically just we can LARP and feel like we're in charge, but honestly, anybody can do whatever they want to do. So even though Casey's BIP got rejected, that doesn't mean anything. Like, the protocol still stands. All he did, I think, was that he like made his own ordinal improvement protocol, basically, and like the protocol standard became basically ordinal improvement protocol #1. You know what I mean? It's just documentation. It's just a bunch of bullshit.
DAO, it hit $1 billion market cap yesterday. The BRC20, like all of them put together, they hit $1 billion yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, that's significant. Webby, go for it.
What's up, man? Am I coming in clearly before I speak? Spaces,
yeah, we can hear you.
Spaces has been giving
Welcome.
me a bunch of issues lately, so I'm sorry I have to be annoying and sort of be like, oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? But listen, man, BRC20s and all that stuff, good stuff, but it's really only people like myself, Dow, and Brian that are able to access this. When I talk to other community members, right, that are into this, the response I get is usually one of bravado, like, oh, if you're not smart to access ordinals, maybe you should just go on Ethereum and bid monkey pictures. And that shouldn't be the case. That really shouldn't be the case, right? I feel like the adoption curve for BRC20s is take a little bit longer than how it was to onboard people onto Uniswap and things like that. So I wanted to pose a question to the panel, or perhaps even Brian. Who are some community leaders or notable people on Twitter Spaces that are leading the charge to teach people how to access other layers on Bitcoin, right? Because at the current moment, it sounds super complex to the normie that is still on Coinbase or Kraken or what have you. Just something to throw on the panel. Not really a spicy take or anything, but this is a question that's been on my mind, right? Because with Ethereum, all you have to do is now at this point, all you have to do is download a Coinbase Uniswap wallet, and DeFi is in the palm of your hands. So again, this is just a question on ease of use, accessibility, and not so much fundamentals, right? Like, oh no, like Consensus and Infura control Ethereum. Like at this point, like,
I know.
Yeah. So it's
no,
just
I get it. I'm not gonna make it a ETH versus Bitcoin thing. I get it. Two things. The first is so the way layer 2s work on Bitcoin is it's not really like a kumbaya, we all get along. There's people that don't like Lightning. There's people that do like Lightning. There's people that don't like Liquid. There's people that do like Liquid. There's people that don't like Ordinals. There's people that do like Ordinals. So you see what I'm saying? It depends who you're talking to. Like, for example, I like Lightning, so I work on Lightning. I help people get onto it. I teach people about it. I don't care for ordinals. People are free to do it. I'm not saying, oh, stop doing it, it's ruining the chain or whatever, but I'm not the best fountain of resources to get people up to date on what's going on with ordinals. You see what I'm saying? Trevor Owens is somebody who's talking about ordinals a lot. So if you look for him, I'll see if I can put his account up top or something. But yeah, he's more up to date. And the thing about the UI UX sucking is because this thing is so new. It's literally just being created like by a bunch of people on the internet, like randomly. It started off literally as a Twitter shitpost. So like the UI is not there until people get together and create software that basically makes it easier for people to get on. Binance apparently said that they're going to start enabling BRC20 trading. So I'm sure at some point they'll put out like a wallet or some nice UI or web tool or something that like people can just plug a Taproot address to and just start fucking around.
Wait, what do you mean BRC20? I thought they were going to list ordinals on Binance NFT platform. Is that the same thing? Are BRC20s the same thing as ordinals?
Yeah.
Yeah. So every BRC20 is an ordinal, but not every ordinal is a BRC20.
And not every ordinal is a BRC20.
That is
so it's
way
either
too
JPEG
complicated.
or S coin.
Jess, it was pretty crazy when we were having that conversation like a week ago or something, and they were talking about TVL with Bitcoin. I never heard of TVL with Bitcoin, and Dow is saying that it's number 14 in TVL. So that means that when I heard that, I was like, okay, that's trading for somehow they're creating liquidity pools for BRC20s and all that. But I'm still not understanding. Like somebody, all right, like maybe you can explain it, Brian. Somebody went and minted, or they bought 50,000 tokens, but how are they splitting these tokens apart? Like, let's say they want to sell them in lots of 5,000. Can they? Like, there's a couple of things I'm not fully aware of with this.
Yeah, I don't think they can split them. I think they're stuck in the lots of 5,000.
Because when I heard that there's TVL, I'm like, how is there TVL with Bitcoin? Where did this come from now? You know, Dal, what's the number with the TVL now? By the way, do you know? Because it's had to have gone up if the BRC20s have $1 billion market cap, all of a sudden the TVL had to have gone up.
I can look it up.
They're locked in what though? What are they locked in?
I don't know. I've never heard of it before. When I heard it, I'm like, what? How's that even possible?
Well, I mean, you can lock value, quote unquote, on Bitcoin. It's just I don't understand how they're locking value with this, because with this, all you do is you just you put a JSON file on the network, and then like an outside indexer looks for your JSON file of choice. So if you want to, I don't know, do Ordi or whatever, you'll use the Ordi indexer, and then updates its records of who owns what on an Excel spreadsheet, basically. So I don't understand how they're locking value. Like,
they're gonna be able to do it in the future. That's what I've been trying to explain to you. Okay, the JSON file. All right. So they're probably just putting in all the data. When you learn how to like compress data properly, they're going to be able to. They're going to create the whole thing with the indexers and everything, and they're probably going to create a scan as well. They're going to create a UI for all this. You're going to be able to split them up in the future. Like, there's no way that you're not going to be able to. The moment that I heard TVL, they're working on a lot of stuff. You're going to be very surprised in the next 6 months. The moment I heard TVL, I was like, what? Like, how's that even like? And I can't even think of how they're going, how they're doing it.
So Nico, the only thing that I've seen that they're working on is basically somebody proposed 2 new functions to the protocol, and it's, what was it, like swap in or swap out or something, and it's basically you pretend.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly
yeah. But since you're not actually utilizing any smart contracts on Bitcoin, all you're doing is just LARPing and pretending to lock your value, because what it wants you to do, the protocol as I understand it, is basically inscribe a JSON that says something like peg in or swap in or whatever, and then put how many of your shitcoins you want to swap over to ETH, because that's where they want to bring it to. And then you basically on the other side of that, it's the indexer again. And then the indexer is just looking for the Bitcoin blockchain. It's looking for these swap in, swap out JSON files. And then it's creating your shitcoin on the other side. And then now you can use ERC20, which in my opinion is stupid, because if you're going to go through all of that, why not just fucking mint an ERC20? If at the end, all you want to do is just make an ERC20, just mint an ERC20.
Because the data, all right, because you can always extrapolate the data from there. Let's say you want to move it from an ERC20. Let's say ERC20s don't exist in the future. You can still extrapolate the data and put it on a different blockchain. Like, it actually, look, it's not stupid. It's not as stupid as you think it is.
All right, guys, let's move it along because I'm getting lost in what you guys are talking about. And I'm sure everybody else is like, what? But we do have one of our regular guests up here. DeFi Daniel, what are your thoughts about the congestions and downtimes on the two most prominent blockchains this week?
Yeah, so it's my understanding that like Bitcoin did never stop producing blocks. It's just that it takes forever for your transaction to go into the block.
Unless you pay.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Unless you're willing to pay a lot of money, right, to get into to kind of like front run everybody else and get your transaction, right? So that's what it is. It never stopped, right? Bitcoin never stopped producing blocks. It just got expensive, and the mempool was getting like completely destroyed, right? And I don't know what happened to the beacon chain, right? There's two chains, right? In Ethereum, I think the blocks kept producing, but they were not including the transactions from the beacon chain or from like I don't know, like I don't even know what the block height was to see if there was any type of transaction, or it was just empty blocks. Maybe someone knows. But it's my understanding that Ethereum did not stop producing blocks. It kept producing blocks. It's just that the transactions were not getting in there. Brian knows
It didn't get
more.
finalized. So oh my, you're giving like word salad. The transactions were not signing. It was down for 30 minutes.
I think it was delay, right? So if you think about it from a point of view of the block explorer, right? Like the block kept being produced, right? As far as I
Yeah,
understand, but you get confirmation from your clients, and Ethereum is getting multiple clients. They couldn't agree and say those confirmations, those transactions are finalized. I think that's what it was. So I don't think
correct.
it was
Yeah,
stopped. It was just delayed in terms of finalization. And if you were a bank and you needed like they say 10 confirmation, then you couldn't get that process done. But they didn't mean that the blocks would not keep being produced. I think that's what that meant.
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
it's a bunch of logical word salad. It
no,
100%
it's
stopped
not
for
a
30
word
minutes.
salad, Brian. So let me just explain it.
It
It's really
did.
not a word salad. It's just if you understand the concept, it shouldn't be non-trivial, right? The blocks kept producing. It's just the transactions were not finalized, so the network didn't know what to include, what to write in this block, what is real or not real. And I see Brian's up and down, up and down. I don't know what the fuck he's talking. But yeah, I mean, but that's it, right? Is it alarming? Yeah, it is alarming, for sure. It's alarming. We'll see what the devs say. I mean, I'm not a dev, so I don't know what the fuck. But that's what it is, right? Both chains, Jess, the blocks keep pumping. Just in one chain, Bitcoin, it was expensive to get your transaction in there, so you had to wait 4+ hours. Imagine buying a cup of coffee and having to stay there in the coffee shop for 2 days because the guy will not let you go. That's one. The other one is like the blocks keep producing on Ethereum, but they were fucking empty, or like, your transaction was never finalized. So you're like, oh shit, what happened? Where's my money? So I think if you're looking to see which one is more concerning, I would say Bitcoin is working as intended. It's Brian is really fast at the emoji things. Bitcoin is working as intended. Ethereum did not work as intended. So we'll see what would happen.
I
At
cannot
least you
believe
recognize it. Thank
I
you. Thank you.
cannot believe he said that just now.
Well, I never
Wow.
lied to myself. Like I never lied to myself. I never, same way Brian and I got in a fight yesterday talking about the Lightning Network. I love the Lightning Network. I just don't lie to myself of what it is. Things like that. I never lie to yourself.
What is it?
Daniel just keeps it real, y'all. Daniel
I
keeps it
can.
real.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you.
Try to spin something.
I can tell you what it is not.
Yeah, it's not Bitcoin. Okay.
Yeah, let's not go down that path because we know that never ends. But on a bright note, I am going to talk about some good news on Ethereum, Daniel. You'd be happy to hear this. So the ETH locked hit an all-time high 3 days ago at 19 million staked locked ETH. So good news happening on that. And another thing that I don't know if it had anything that was related, but I did see like that Binance US was enabling users to like automatically unstake their ETH. So I did see a few exchanges that turned on that feature. Could that have anything to have done with what happened with the 30-minute, quote unquote stall, we'll call it, like Daniel wants to call it? A 30-minute waiting period.
Yeah, if you're a solo staker, there is a waiting period, just because they want to make sure that you're clean before you go. If you're part of a pool that's using your ETH to create a node, they want to make sure you're clean before you go. The same is if you are a solo miner or validator. In this case, you got your 32 plus ETH in a node. They want to make sure that you're not doing anything fishy before you go. So there's those periods of time there, that you have to kind of sit on your hands and wait for it.
Wait, I thought it was because of the liquid staking with the Beth. Yeah, I thought all of that was because of the liquid staking.
Hey, Daniel, do you have the liquid staking tokens for ETH?
All right, guys, we're not going to go down this path.
No. There's no path.
Wait, guys, relax. You guys can go argue in a group chat and about what you're buying. Whew, I can't believe we got through that in a civil manner. So we appreciate your unbiased opinion, Daniel. I'm very, very shocked, actually. But yeah, let's keep it going, and let's talk a little bit about the frog in the room, the drama with PEPE this week. There was a lot of drama. The first thing was the Cointelegraph PEPE Twitter Spaces, and that caused a lot of stir. Not sure if you guys heard about that drama, but they brought up, this lady who said she was a lawyer and that she was able to give legal prediction advice. So she legally predicted that PEPE, oh God, PEPE was going to zero. I even put that in Chat GPT, like, are lawyers allowed to give legal predictions? And Chat GPT said no. So what are you guys' thoughts about that space and about the lawyer? And did anybody hear the remix that came out about, I'm going to see if I could play it.
That remix was dope. But listening to her, she not only said that she could give the legal prediction, she also said she could give financial advice. So she was just hitting it out of the park. Like, y'all, I am not an attorney, but I like play one in spaces. I don't know. That was just so random and so strange. And anybody that wanted to come on stage too, that wanted to, have a say or give their opinion, if it was anything positive towards PEPE, they just would like shoot him down. And they would put him down to listener or just kick him out. So it was just a very odd space, because I think if you're for it, if you're against it, look, it's your wallet. And I said people need to stop being so triggered by PEPE. Like, if you want to get into it, get into it. If you don't need to. So stop telling people what to do with their wallets. If you want to get it, get it. If you don't. But people just get so opinionated and just have to tell everybody what they need to do with their money. Like, nobody's going to tell me what to do with my money unless I ask for money from you. So it's just very strange to me. But that woman, if you can play that remix, that was hilarious. And I think that they even tried to go find her and see if she was really an attorney. But I do believe that she was, maybe that they found something on her LinkedIn, or maybe she's an attorney in Dubai. I don't know. But that was just, she came in hot with that financial advice she could give and legal prediction.
No, even as the host, like, he's like, yes, we're going to bring up so-and-so. She's a lawyer. She's allowed to give finance. I would never say that. Like, I think I'm pretty clear. Even if you are a lawyer, you're not going to come up here and give law advice on a Twitter space. Like, No. And he brought her up with the intention of saying, oh, her opinion is valid because quote unquote she's a lawyer. And but let's go to Erica, and then I saw Anna come up, which I'd love to get her insight about that.
Yeah, I thought that was absolutely crazy. Like, I have never heard that in spaces before. Like, you are a lawyer and you can give financial advice like so definitive like that. And she was like confidently like, yes. The other thing to mention is that so somebody had done some digging in Cointelegraph and they found like a 75-page Cointelegraph, kind of like a pitch deck in a way. And one of the pages on it is that they will host spaces with an audience that appears to be organic, and it can basically be skewed to whatever side of the argument you are on. So I can pin that to the top just if you want, but I thought that was like really incriminating. What they did is that was a Google link and it was open to everybody. I happened to save the PDF, but I went in the next day and I tried to look at it and they had locked it. Like, you have to request access now. The other thing about that, quote unquote lawyer, I don't want to get into that part of it, but like, she had actually, her website went into maintenance mode. And so they basically like took everything down. And so there was just a lot of shady shit going on. I'm really curious to see if like this is just going to die down, or if people are actually going to be in like hot pursuit to like find out if she is actually who she says she is, and if what she said is can be like validated and true, and if she is actually able to give financial advice. But I thought it was fucking crazy, and I agree, Tammy, that remix is fire.
Yeah, and they went back and deleted the Twitter space. They had it pinned up as their pinned tweet because obviously they got max engagement. And then they went back and they deleted the Twitter space. And I was even in the space with that host this morning, and he was arguing with Udi and wouldn't even let Udi give like a different perspective about, Bitcoin ordinals and things like that. Like, if I shut down everybody that had a different opinion than me, nobody would talk on here. And that's basically what I feel that he does. And as a host, I don't think that's like valid. But Anna, what are your thoughts about the situation?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's I'm an attorney. I'm barred in Maryland. It's if I gave you guys my name, you'd be able to look me up, like my last name or whatever, because my first name is actually Anna. So, but it's really weird. Like, financial like price prediction has nothing to do with anything related to legal. So it's just so funny that she went up there and was like, oh, PEPE is going to zero. Actually, she could, I mean, I don't know what country she is barred in or whatever it is, but she could actually, you are giving financial advice and you could be liable for that. She's in a space that was, recorded. I guess they deleted, but there's still recording of her saying that. So she is actually probably liable for that. But also interesting. So that was like a Cointelegraph space. How are they, that they're a big, publisher in crypto. It seems kind of irresponsible for them to have these, these just nonchalant, like, thin air opinions, like have people there who are just giving opinions out of nothing. I don't know.
Yeah, bring up a Bitcoin maxi to host a PEPE space. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Like, even, me as a host, I feel the most comfortable talking about subjects that I know about. Like, if I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, I'm probably not going to feel comfortable talking about Bitcoin maxi things. Like, you've never even bought a meme. What are you doing talking about the meme? I don't know. It was just ridiculous, and it was very biased, and it was obvious. But yeah, that's Cointelegraph for you. Go ahead, Tammy.
I was just going to agree with you, Jess. And I know at one point when I was in there listening, he was saying that people were sending him like hateful messages or something. And I'm thinking, well, bro, you're not being a good listener, and you're not letting people come up and speak. It was so one-sided, and I don't even know I had never heard of that guy before. I don't even know who he is, but he seemed very combative for sure.
I agree with that. That's like if I host a space, I bring up Anna, and we're here saying your bags are going to go to zero. She's legally telling you that. I am expecting to get hate messages from somebody in this room. Like that, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, because I would be lying. I would be being dishonest and disingenuous. Because I don't know what's going to happen. Go ahead, BB.
Yeah, she's a troll, guys, by the way. When 3AC and those other people got liquidated last June, that fake Three Arrows Capital profile made a space, and people from Matic and Binance and all these other big products in the digital asset space, they were all in the Twitter space. And then he played Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up, and he rickrolled everybody. He rickrolled everybody, and then that lawyer chick was bringing up people, asking them to sing karaoke, to give their best Rick Astley impression. So, guys, when you go on these Twitter spaces and you see someone that, is a bit obnoxious and they have somewhat of a high following or whatever, chances are they got that following from being a troll. And that lady had like 3,000 followers, and now she has like well over 10K, right? So she's a well-known troll and also a well-known cyber bully. So I wouldn't take anything.
A cyber
Anything.
bully.
Wow.
A
So she was
cyber
up
bully.
she was up
Yeah.
there
He was
engagement
man,
farming.
you better turn your computers off.
Yeah, she's not the nicest person, man. And Cointelegraph has been known to be very dishonest and very biased.
Yeah, and then I saw a post because I know she went private. So again, I don't know if it's true or not because you can't believe everything you see on Twitter. But it was a screenshot of her apparently saying that people were using memes illegally or something like that. So now we're illegal. We're going to jail for using memes. So I don't know what she meant by that, but that's what I saw on the timeline. Take it with a grain of salt. But Balrog, I saw you came up and unmuted earlier. Did you have something to chime in?
Yeah. Crypto's pretty cool, I haven't really gotten into crypto until I started kissing and making out with guys at the bar. Now,
Okay, you know what?
see
Like,
what
I don't have
happens.
time for this shit. We're gonna move on.
No, we're not doing that.
Daniel, what up?
Yeah, I just want to come clean. You guys were talking about that fake 3AC that was almost like a year ago, and there's like 10,000 people in there. And you guys talking about that chick with the red suit jacket or something like that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I was the one playing the Rick Roll song. I don't know why they made me speaker or co-host.
Oh my God,
Well,
you were up
bro.
there. Yeah.
Did you control the 3AC profile, bro?
No, I did not.
I thought he was gonna say he was the one, but okay. Like what?
No, I was one of the first ones jumping in because the chick and we used to follow each other at one point, and I noticed that she was there, in the space with 3AC, so I jumped in, and it was just the three of us, so they make me speaker or co-host, something like that. And when I saw that it was all fake, and I saw like we have like 10,000 people in it, I just decided to play the Rick Roll song, but that was about it. I kind of
It was fucking
fun.
head. Yeah,
You were
Yeah, I mean,
history. Look at that.
yeah. Someone was claiming someone else was doing it, so I just want to make sure that it's
Yeah, we got to give credit where credit is due. And why did you guys unfollow each other? To the most, to a better question, why did you unfollow her?
I don't know why. I mean, she'd probably say something that I didn't like, and I'm like, whatever, And she probably saw that I unfollow her, or vice versa, and whatever, I'm not a big follower kind of guy.
Daniel's a little weird. He unfollowed me for a long time. It's like, yeah.
Did I unfollow you, or I never follow you?
No, you unfollowed me and then followed me and then I couldn't figure out what the hell you were doing. I'm like, is he playing games now? Like,
How do you
all right,
keep track of that, Nico? Man, you're like a catalog of people that follow you, unfollow you. Like,
I'm in spaces.
you didn't follow
with
me
him
for
all the
3
time.
months, man. I remember that back in 21.
No, so I use this tool.
I'm like, but I'm in spaces with him all the time, and it's like, okay, and then it's like I get an alert all of a sudden that he's following me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
no, so I'm not crazy. Like I'm not crazy. Like sentimental. Like I don't let my feelings get the. So I probably did not. I probably unfollow you from because I use an app that tells me who hasn't tweeted in like a month or so on. And you responded to those tweets. They're automated, right, Nico? You're like cringe. You're cringe because they're automated tweets. But it basically keeps track of my followers, who I follow, where they're from. So sometimes if a follower hasn't followed in like or hasn't tweeted in like the last month or so, it unfollows them. So
So if
it
you
just kind
take
of
time off, you're gonna get unfollowed by Daniel,
well,
basically.
it just
I
trying to
can
make it
see.
clean. Yeah, that's right, Jess.
All right, let's get to Web3 who came up. What's up, Web3?
Hey, thank you. I just came up to kind of say what DeFi Daniel did right there sums up the entire Web3 and blockchain space in general. It's just memes and fun all around. Well, space, I think it kind of explains what the entire space is about, really. Last 2 weeks have pretty much summed it up and confirmed it in my eyes. It's not about tech, it's not about the finance, it's not about the solutions. It is just about the memes and shit and giggles, all of it.
Did you not listen to the first part of this space? We had a great protocol actually laying down their technology and how they want to bring privacy and how they're actually thinking about institutions coming into
Come
the
on.
space.
Don't,
What do you mean,
please,
come on?
don't
These guys
Hold on.
wake up.
don't
Some
do
of them
that.
wake up at 7 a.m. Some of them work on weekends. Like you see, this is the problem. Yes, a lot of the space is shits and giggles. It's a casino. But you actually have builders that put the hours, and if you've been in the space, in the tech space, and you see what Web3 developers are doing, not even just developers, marketers, business development, it's hard work. It's long hours. If you work 6 months in Web3, you know that it's more work than regular corporate job when you have a clear structure and you know what to do. This is a brand new space, a wild, wild west. No one knows the best practices. You get hacked. You get audited. People, the chain doesn't work for 30 minutes. There's all kinds of shit that happen. You have to handle all that. It's a lot more work than people assume.
Completely agree.
It's not
But
just that though.
wait,
I'm
wait, Nico, we
sorry.
got two ladies with their hands up before you, Anna and then Erica.
Yeah, Jess, I wanted to mention that you were talking about the meme copyright. That's why I came here, because I get this question a lot. And so Matt Fury, who's the creator of PEPE, and this also goes to the Coinbase thing, he actually sued the alt-right, and one of them was Alex Jones. There were other people. He actually sued them to make sure that they couldn't use his, art in a hateful way. They were both like anti-Semitic and like Islamophobic drawings from the PEPE, and he sued them, and he won like $15,000, which is not really a lot of money, but they can't legally use his image and make money off of it. I don't think that he would. I mean, who knows? But I don't think that he would sue people just for using the PEPE. I mean, everybody's been using it, and he's obviously he owns the copyright or the IP, whatever you want to call it. But he's not taking any legal action against anybody. I think he's going to continue to do that. Right? He's only going to if it's like a very hateful thing. So it was also weird that Coinbase said that because he litigated it literally.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point. Coinbase put out that email, referencing the history of the meme and included, the term alt-right, and definitely caused a backlash in the community. Coinbase stock went down. What else happened? And the legal officer of Coinbase came out and capitulated and apologized, as they should have. And I'll rant about that in a little bit, but let's get through some of the hands, Erica, and then we'll go to Finley and Nico, and then.
Yeah, definitely. So to build upon what Anna was saying is that Matt actually did retweet some of the PEPE tweets that people put out. So I think that he's having fun with it as well. Somebody said, and I can't verify this because I wasn't there, but he was in a Twitter space where he basically, and this was a while ago, he said that he didn't want to get involved in like people's financial whatever. He was just going to watch from the sidelines. So I think as long as it's not in like a malicious manner, he's cool with it. But I just wanted to play like a quick game of like, would you rather Twitter edition? So people who are like sick of hearing about Pepe and meme coins and like shit coins and whatever, like, would you rather listen to 24/7 about SBF shenanigans or meme coins and Pepe and shit coins shenanigans? Anybody can answer that.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'd rather go with the meme coins and the shit posting rather than the SBF.
Can I just get like a 24-hour loop of goats screaming, like instead of either one of those things?
What up, Flu? Hold up, Flu. Let's go to Finley, whose hand's gonna fall off. What's up, Finley?
My hand is fine. I think I would do both, right? Like, one thing about fun is that it's free, and if you're in like a down market, you need to have some fun, and that's why I think it's totally fine that crypto is just a casino and gambling and just shits and giggles for a lot of people. Like, you kind of need that. No one wants to like. If you wanted to like wear ties into the office, then you'd be working in Web 2, like, so it's great. I think that it's shits and giggles, and I kind of overestimated how many people treat it just as a casino. But like going to like ETH Denver and like Masari and Consensus and these conferences that attract like attract the people that aren't on Twitter. Like when you leave Twitter and go into the real world, you realize no, there's actually a lot of people, like somebody was saying before, like, we wake up. I mean, I was up until like 1 or 2, and then I woke up at like 6:30, which I really hate, which I know other people do too. But like, there's a lot of serious builders and there's a lot of serious action going on. And the proof is that the SEC and other government agencies are starting to notice, like if it was just a bunch of meme coins, like they thought Bitcoin was for the first 10 years, nobody in the government would care. Gary cares and Warren cares because they recognize that, oh, shoot, some of this stuff is real. And some of this stuff, the kind of thing that we're going to want to control. This is my personal opinion. It's not representative of Findora or anything, in the future. And like, to me, it's kind of like a little bit scary that the government is like, let's try to crack down on crypto and Operation Choke Point or whatever. But it's also kind of validating, because if we were just a collection of alt meme coins, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. And then meeting some really high-powered people in Washington, D.C. and all around the country working in the space is like, oh, my little crypto Twitter sphere is a lot smaller than I think it is, and just, I don't know, I just want to add a little perspective on that, because I totally get the sentiment, like, oh, it's just, just giggles. But there's more going on. There really is, and I think that'll accelerate slowly, but I think it will accelerate in the coming years.
I just want to add 2 things really quick before I go to Nico. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And sometimes, we get caught up in the Twitter bubble, and on the, my Twitter timeline, it's a bunch of influencers shilling, a coin that just popped up 2 seconds ago. So I do think, while Pepe is fun, I do feel that the memes are completely out of control. And I hope it actually settles down a bit. And then the second thing that I wanted to point out, that something that you mentioned that sparked something, that you mentioned that they're paying attention, right? Like, this space is big, and I'm trying to find the damn tweet, but I read something that Tether in Q1, they made more money than BlackRock in Q1 of this year. So BlackRock Q1 net income was 1.16 billion, and Tether's Q1 net income was 1.48 billion. So imagine that. BlackRock is basically, this corporate monopoly outside of crypto, and then you have Tether focused on one product, and they're making more money than BlackRock. If you think they're going to sit back and just let that be, like, I don't think so. Sorry, that's my rant. Go ahead, Nico.
I would like a little bit of both to get on that. Good for Tether that they did that to BlackRock. I got a phone call. Thank God I cut it off though.
And I wanted to add to what Dow said, because a lot of people, like, they expect devs to work 24/7 and for free. It's like crazy at this point, you know. Like, if they like, it's like how I don't get what people are expecting. That's why I never want to see a token, nothing. Like, I never want to do it because I feel bad for some of them. Like, especially like NFT projects, like they're gonna sit there and like they want to know when you go to the bathroom at some point too. It's crazy.
Great point. And let's Web3. Before I go to you, I do want to welcome Flu. Flu, what's going on? You woke up to come, so we definitely got to throw the mic over to you.
Dude, I woke up because like I saw Sir Loa, Sir Rugless down there saying, Flu, they're talking about you, get in here. So heard you was talking shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. Anyway, so I got an email the other day from this dude at the Texas Blockchain Council, and like he's talking about these guys from a certain organization. They need somebody who's like a local leader within Fort Worth, right? And I'm the only motherfucker in Fort Worth, right? And so they put me up because they didn't have any other options. Because obviously, if there were better options, they would have went to them, right? And so I'm still waiting to see what this is because I've looked these people up for this certain company that like one of them's like for governmental relations, the other one's with like their senior counsel or whatever for blah blah bullshit, and I'm wondering what this is. And at the same time, I know exactly what this is. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna need to like talk about some bill or whatever. Like this is exactly what that is. And so for like the conversation that we were having before, and or y'all were having before, seemingly, and with like, it is exactly that. Like we are going to need to be these people who step into these like positions of like spreading the news on like what is and is not important to our industry whenever it comes to governmental compliance and stuff. Like it's gonna be us, and I don't think that half the motherfuckers out there are ready for this shit because I think that a lot of founders think that their responsibility starts and ends at making line go up, and I think that even if you're not a founder, if you're seen as a thought leader or promoter or whatever within the space, you need to think about it and like kind of be ready to step your game up at any time because that transition into legitimacy from slightly fringe is going to happen faster than anyone expects. Because I mean, like, gosh, shit, I've been here since 2013, and back then it was super hella French, incredibly French, and incredibly cringe because the only people that were in here were criminals or insane people, and I was a bit of the insane side. So, anyway, Web3 guy, what's up?
Oh wait, I was
Hey,
gonna ask you. Oh, go ahead, Web3, and I'll circle
I just
back.
want to see what Web3 says, man. It's like you can talk to me later. I only get to talk to Web3 guy once. I mean, this is a special day.
man, I feel so loved. Thank you. Cheers. Just related to the point earlier, I wanted to say that I was a bit tongue in cheek. I wasn't being sort of offensive or combative. It was a perspective I was trying to say that all of the hard work and lifting and building is done by the developers and creators and architects in this space, whether it's the underlying solutions or the platforms or even the standards that we're using for these meme coins and shitcoins and NFTs. The hard work and lifting was done before, but I think that the thing to take away is these protocols were built with the complete openness so that the audience and the crowd can take it and run with it for shits and giggles, and that gives it the virality. And when we're building something, we have to bear that in mind. It can't be built so staunchly, rigidly specific with niche, because you'll never get that virality. You'll never get that flywheel effect. It's like social media, it was built for a specific purpose, but the overwhelming majority of content is cats and kitten pictures and pets videos and silly videos of dogs and stuff. And that's cool, that's okay. But it was built to be able to allow all of that. So I think that's perhaps the perspective to take on anything you're building. I know there's some incredible tech and incredibly skilled individuals in this space, but they might be missing the virality element very much because you'll never get the exposure if you're building something so specific and niche. Sorry, that was all.
Never mind. I don't want to hear anything that he says because he believes that the primary use case for social media is not kitten pictures and videos, which it is, It's the main thing. That's the only thing. It's the only thing that people should use it for, and instead they use it for hate speech and bullshit. So, whatever.
No, Flu, what I was going to mention to you earlier, that I actually did make a contact this week with somebody from the Florida Blockchain Association. So maybe I can try to connect you guys and you can figure out what it is that these blockchain associations are doing. I'm also hoping to have them on the show soon, to be scheduled soon as well.
Sure, throw me in a group chat, man. You know I love group chats. I can never get enough of those.
Oh Lord, not another group chat. Yeah, I'm like 7 days behind on messages, but yes, I will create a group chat and add you on there at some
You can
point in the next 7 to 10 business
we,
days.
we we can remove you from it after, like, we're all good. Like, we can kick you out of the group chat after. It's all good, man. Also, hello Brooke, hello Tammy, hello Dow, hello Daniel, hello Nico, hello
What's
Erica,
up, Flu?
hello Laws by Anna and Bread, Vinny. Hello to everybody except for Web3 guy who thinks that Cat3 or like Web3, Web2 social media was not made for kitten pictures.
Bro, come on. Web 2 is built for kitten pictures and Web 3 is built for memes and altcoins, Matt. Come on.
Great points, guys. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, we talked about the Coinbase PEPE email. Obviously, that was a huge backlash. And then the other crazy thing that happened this week is Elon tweeted out a Milady. Flu, had you already sold your Miladies? Is that why they pumped?
Dude, I sold my Miladies. I sold most of my Miladies whenever you, right after the initial things came out, were like, Flu, you really gonna keep those fucking things?
I never said that. I don't even know the Milady drama.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Show me the
I have
message. Yeah, I
receipt.
think you
I
got
have
the wrong.
receipt. I actually don't have receipts. It was during space.
Yeah, you're just.
It was
But
unrecorded, but that's all right. It was either you or someone else, which probably someone else. It's all good. Basically, I was shamed though for holding a lot of Miladies, and I was like, "Well, fuck you then." And I sold all of them but one, and then I sold the other one a couple months ago, back whenever it hit like about 1.3 ETH or some shit like that. And so I think I faded like 20, 25 ETH, which I'm fine with because like I just didn't want to be caught in the crossfire, but I still hold one older collection than Milady that's done by the same people, and I'm still in like a bunch of alpha chats and things for Miladies. So I think it's funny, the meme coin cycle, because it's like it's just Miladies and MFers and a few others that are continuously like fucking railing everybody else into the ground with just absolutely fucking them on these trades and shit coins and meme coins and everything. So it's awful, and I always try to make sure to like not participate in it. And then I finally actually called PEPE as being like bigger than the others, and I was under like 2 million market cap. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just tired of meme coins, bro. I don't know.
I have a
that's.
question going. Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh, go
Jessica.
ahead, Tammy. Go ahead.
I just wanted to go back to one of the points that you made with what happened with Coinbase and Pepe. So looking back on it, though, with them listing ApeCoin and the controversy that was going on with the Bored Apes, so how is that any different than what was going on with Pepe? So that was my question, because it just seems like they were okay with that, but then they came out with this, this email that they sent to everybody. So what is I see Web3 probably has an answer because he's
I
putting his
mean,
hand up, but
These
I'm just
that
curious about that.
bias.
that one that thing that would cause the supposed controversy about the Bored Apes, though, was done by a well-known, like, performative, like, I guess artist in Ryder Rips. I hesitate to use the word, but like that was done by Ryder Rips. It was well known at the time that like this is not someone who does things without their own agenda, and like it was very like that's a whole different thing, because like the people who were looking at that documentary and being like, oh, all of this is completely new information, were either A, acting in bad faith, or B, just riding a wave of like popular sentiment and not really looking into anything. So I think that it's a little bit different. It's also incredibly worse, because it's so much easier to debunk than that ever was, as far as like the Anti-Defamation League recognizing it as a thing. Like, yeah, they did, but did you actually see what's been done with the art and the artist since then? No, of course you fucking didn't, because you never pay attention to artists. Just concerning the media and like, anyway, and especially in exchange. Jesus Christ, Web3 guy. Sorry.
Hey, absolutely agree, man. You nailed it. A couple of other perspectives on that. So that was sort of mid-raging bull market. You know, exchanges just had a lot of relaxed conditions when they were listing things. If you had a project that's been around for several months, the team was doxxed, they probably spent a month or two speaking with Coinbase, going back and forth, getting all these things done, and then a coin was listed almost immediately as it went live. It's that type of thing. With respect to PEPE, I mean, I've helped teams before get listed on exchanges, and it is a process that can take months, which is a little awkward. I mean, I couldn't understand how Binance would list something immediately like this. It kind of smells a bit weird in some ways. I think Coinbase at the moment, following due protocol, they'll never list a coin that hadn't even been around for a month in this way. I know they got a lot of hate for it, and they've obviously flipped around and backtracked on it, which is great, because it means they lost that fight, and they're going to have to reconsider their opinions. But from a process perspective, they're usually very cautious about what they list anyway. So in their defense, they're probably just doing something done with token listings.
I have to, and again, my opinions are biased. I am a partner with Binance US and an avid Binance user, but I have to disagree with that. I mean, you can see many weird ERC20 tokens, because that's what PEPE is, that have been listed on Coinbase that you're like, what the hell is this coin? You've never even heard of it, and they're listing it. So I have to disagree with that. And you know, in my personal opinion, if you don't see the clear bias between ApeCoin and PEPE, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, ApeCoin is a VC-backed coin that obviously had the right connections, and you know, they even had a partnership with Coinbase. So again, my biased opinion, but I'll let somebody else give a different perspective, because we do want to keep balanced opinions up here.
I mean, I think it's just a matter of volume, right? Like there was, and Web3 guy, in case you're not familiar, like, which you're definitely not familiar, because why the fuck would you be? But I helped Jewel get listed, like, from DeFi Kingdoms, a lot of different places. Thing is, I didn't have to help Jewel get listed a lot of places, right? Like, just a lot of centralized exchanges back then, like very small ones, just started listing it, and they'd buy their own bag and they'd list it, and they'd have fucked up liquidity pools and everything. Thing is whenever you're Binance, whenever you're Coinbase, whenever you're all these others, if you see any of your peers, or like the mid grade tiers, like, start to list and stuff like that, if you've seen KuCoin do something, and then you can do it because it's an ERC20 and it's not some sort of like actual thing that's got its own like infrastructure, like Fedora, or like whatever. Something like Fedora is incredibly difficult to list, because you have to have the all of the different like stuff in place to actually have your own nodes, and be able to transfer in and out, blah blah blah, blah. You get what I'm saying. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. It was more to the point that a lot of those things were done during a raging bull market, and there was exchange competition trying to get something listed first before the other players. But with respect to Coinbase and Binance, both of these two have always been very cautious with what they list. Even so, Coinbase, for example, they may list an ERC20 that you've never heard of, but it may have actually been around for a whole year or 2 years beforehand. The team would all be doxxed, they would be interviewed. ApeCoin, I think, is a great example. Like, it was VC backed. That means these were large institutions that were known and understood and probably co-invested in Coinbase anyway. You know, so there was all of that. It was a known entity. And with respect to new altcoins, Coinbase have always been very slow to it. Like, it's something they've never done immediately off the bat like this. So that was all I was trying to say.
I think you make great points, but I do agree with Flu that the exchanges are going to list where the volume is, and we saw Gemini did that. A lot of people signed up to Gemini now. People that never used Gemini before. So interesting to see how that works out. And yeah, the Miladys pumped. Do you guys think Elon knew what he was tweeting out, or did he just like the meme?
Does he even care at this point? Is he just trolling us?
Oh, I don't think anybody knows what the hell's going on.
He
No,
probably
the
just
It's
liked
so
the
on.
meme, to be honest.
no, the rumor is that like Grimes might be playing an Austin rave for the Miladys.
Oh my God, is that the
That's my
rumor?
favorite
That's
rumor.
Dude, wow.
My God.
Did you see that he announced that the CEO is the lady from NBC? So he just brought over like mainstream media CEO Linda, whatever the hell her name is.
Yeah.
But that's
so
kind
he
of
did
weird
confirm
because he
that
was
yet?
talking about free speech and he bring to see someone that's biased new on
Exactly.
the thing.
Exactly. That is my point. Like he did this whole situation with Twitter and now like, and who knows, maybe she's leaving mainstream media for this, like, that could be she could be like leaving NBC for a specific reason. You kind of have to think about it, like if she's been in that industry for so long, and moving to Twitter, it's like she's not an idiot. She knows what he's been doing for the last, how long has it been? Seems like
I don't know.
years, but it's been probably 6 months or something since he bought it. And so obviously we all know, most of the people know that he has been speaking about and trying to do different things with Twitter and getting rid of certain departments and stuff. So why would somebody from mainstream media leave mainstream media to come to this? It could be both. It could go either way, but I would think, it's, again, so much of this that we talk about is so subjective. Like I would think that if somebody was to make an exodus from mainstream media to come and do this, that there was some like agreement, and she's not going to just come in and like change everything because she's going to try to bring mainstream media here. Like I think that's maybe a different perspective than most people are like, what is happening? And they're throwing their hands in the air like it's going to turn into mainstream media. Like, well, wait, maybe she's leaving because of the fact that she doesn't want to be doing that same thing anymore.
But I mean, yeah, I agree with you, Brooke. Like, who really watches mainstream media? Half of the
Zero.
time,
My
if
parents.
there's something on the TV that I need to listen into,
50 and more.
I listen to the stream on Twitter or something like that, And then with Tucker Carlson leaving and coming to Twitter, like you could see the shift happening. I'm an Elon fan girl. I'm not going to fade Elon. You guys are still here, even after a year that he's been here. And, everybody was mad that he bought Twitter. Everybody's still here. And it's growing. So I agree with you. I don't know. I think we should be cautious. But I think we shouldn't fade Elon. Let's go to Nicholas and then Viking and Nico. Since they're new up here, we'll go in that order. Hope you guys can hear me.
Yeah, of course, and thank you for letting me talk. Before we were speaking about Elon, we were talking about the PEPE thing, all the controversy. But if you compare it to Shiba Inu, at the same time on May, they had the same pump and dump thing that happened on Shiba Inu. And for a while, it stayed down, and we were talking about it. And in September, it pumped it up again more than the first pump. So it really looked like the same path that Shiba was following. Like the trend got lost a bit, but since there was so much volume in every platform, eventually it came back. Of course, there's that controversy with Coinbase, with the letters that you just said, but I mean, any exchange, the only thing they want to do is make money. They don't care about the trend, they don't care about the hype or whatever. They just want to make money. So if they say there's volume, they'll just realize it's a good thing for them, and that's it. And that was my point.
Yep, the exchanges want that volume. Definitely agree with you. Viking, welcome back. Long time. What's going on?
What is going on, Jess? Thanks for letting me up. The one thing I wanted to say about that new Twitter CEO, okay, she's not just mainstream media. This girl is a WEF Klaus Schwab lackey.
Okay. Now, we have to also remember Twitter operates in several other countries with speech laws that they have to adhere to, such as in Germany, France, and in England. So it's not this free speech thing that we all think it is in the United States going on right now in Twitter. They are still adhering to speech and thing laws in other countries.
I think you have a valid point. And, sometimes we think of a lot of the things from a US perspective. And to your point, some of that censorship is happening currently in other countries on Twitter. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. Like one thing that I thought about, and again, this is me just, speculating, maybe he just wanted a CEO to have somebody to blame for next year's election period. I don't know. Nico, go ahead.
So, yeah, look,
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people can't relate to both sides of the media. Like, I want to make a political comment, but it's not a political comment because I sit in the middle with all this stuff. And I feel like they're going to try and make something like a lot of people in the middle can relate to. If anybody gets what I'm trying to say, like it's just a little because now you got Tucker Carlson coming, you got this new CEO, you got a lot of big changes, and they're more entertainment changes than they are anything else. So I'm actually kind of bullish on Twitter. Forget about the politics of all of this, right? I'm more bullish on Twitter than I am anything else.
Yeah, some people want to stay in their own. Oh, am I right now? Some people want to stay in their own little bubble, and I think those people will not be coming to Twitter. And some people want to hear, all sides, and those people will come to Twitter. But let's go to Nicholas, and then Flu, and then I see Jimbo came up.
yeah. Hello, thank you for letting me talk. Yeah, actually, it's a good point, and I think the only aspect we can look into this, like looking into another way, the only reason that someone like Elon Musk will hire someone that biased to go into Twitter, it's maybe to try to get back that demographic of the market that he lost since he said that he was open and they kind of assumed that Twitter was Republican, but by bringing someone in from that news channel, it actually maybe in a business point of view equilibrate the demographic of Twitter, so it actually will make more people come into Twitter. And that's why I think the only reason he would have done it, so he can balance and actually make more money. At the end of the day, he's a businessman and he look into his numbers too.
Completely agree. Go ahead, Flu.
Well, for one thing, I'm now following Nicholas because that was a great point. But for another, like, yeah, no, that's very true. Like, it's a really really good move from a tactical point of view. Like, you've got a bunch of right side that are. I fucking hate the terms right wing and left wing because it means completely different things. I can be like the most far left wing thing in existence, and then in another country I'm like squarely in the center, and then in another country I'm like a little bit right actually. You know, like it's a weird sort of thing. It's like a bigger version of like minor verbal misunderstandings in between languages. It's like a completely different misunderstanding for political.
Right and left is also inverse in some countries too. It gets
Yeah.
very confusing when it gets there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's a very very good point. Um, I fucking forgot what I was gonna say initially because I was just knocked out by Nicholas's thing. It's a great point. Like if you want people to, if you want advertisers to come back to the platform, man, if you want those advertisers that you lost being too right wing or too like yourself, Elon. Not that I'm familiar with that shit, but that's exactly what you do is you hire a left wing person and you're like, hey, bring daddy back some money, please. And that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna bring daddy back some money. But like the people that are freaking out about it don't really need to fucking be freaking out about it because like that's where the money is. The decision's going to rise from the whole organization, and then Daddy Elon gonna be like, hey, we can't afford this. Whenever it's actually like, they can afford it. He just doesn't want to do it because it goes against his thing or whatever. I think it brings like a decent level of balance in theory. Now let's see how it actually works out. and maybe, you know, I'll be milking commie cows or something in like a few months, like Viking Lord says. But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Jimbo, what's going on? Welcome.
Hey, good morning, Jess. Good morning, everybody. Hey, so I shared something at the top. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce filed a brief in the Coinbase for SEC case, and I only hopped up to post that, and hopefully Anna can give us kind of a read on what she thinks about that. I tagged her in a tweet on it. I just want to get her opinion, given that she is a lawyer, and kind of just get awareness about that. I think that's going to be kind of important news coming soon.
And not legal advice. Anna, do you want to chime in? She may not be there. Anna, throw me an emoji when you come back, and we'll see if you can if you want to chime in. But yeah, I saw that, and basically this is a response from Coinbase action last week, right, Jimbo?
Yeah. So based on what I can see, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce filed the brief inside the Coinbase versus SEC case. So I'm not a lawyer, so I don't really understand how all that works. But the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has a huge amount of influence, and they're actually stating that the SEC is acting unlawfully.
Let's go. Gary Gensler's time is ticking. Like it's impossible that this guy sticks around, in my opinion. Like, speaking of Gensler, and we'll see if Anna comes back, Jimbo, and maybe she wants to chime in on that. But speaking of Gensler, which brings me to FTX and something else that I read, that the IRS filed for a $43 billion tax claim from FTX, and they would get a priority claim. So the reason that I bring this up is like, okay, where's the protection that we're supposed to get from Gensler, which now the IRS gets to claim the money first, and the people who lost money are not going to get anything back. It's just absolutely ridiculous that this man is in
As
power.
someone who lost Bitcoin in certain seizures, I'm not surprised whatsoever by this.
Yeah, but isn't that like 5 times the amount like of their deposits in the U.S. exchange? Wasn't there a U.S. exchange like a total TVL of like $8 billion or something? Where are they getting
Yes, so
43
the
billion?
taxes are based from the Alameda trading as well. So all the taxes that I guess Alameda never paid based upon their trading.
Well, remember the
Holy.
U.S. entity was like separate too. So really, what the U.S. government is doing here, they're robbing international users of their deposits as well.
And I think with Gensler, watching him when he's had to testify, it's very frustrating to listen to him because I think it's far more important for him to go after celebrities and try and get money from them for their wrongdoings than actually going up against and going after the things that they should. Obviously, with SBF, I mean, I just picture him to be like this unpopular kid in school that's trying to get like his vengeance out now against like who he sees as the popular people.
He's like a shitty
He
crypto
obviously
Batman. That's what you're
doesn't know what
saying.
yeah, dude, I can't even listen to him. I mean, he puts out a video saying that you can't call your dog a goldfish. Like, get the fuck out of here.
What the fuck? Can't
What
you
if you
call your
name
dog?
your dog
Yeah,
Goldfish? Then
fuck that. That's, dude.
So
What the fuck?
I think it's he's crazy. I think it's the morality of all of this because he's regulating by going after everybody. Like he's making regulations, he's doing whatever, and then to top it off, like what he's doing because there's no funding, he's trying to get the easy celebrities, get some funding so that he can move everything along. Because like XRP, that cost them $200 million. Like, how is a smaller blockchain? Let's say they don't have that kind of money, and there he goes after them. Like, how are they supposed to pay all these legal fees? And this is money that they're never going to get back. And actually, whoever invested in these blockchains are the ones paying all these legal fees too.
Yeah, there was a congressional hearing this week on the future of digital assets, And you can kind of tell like there's still like a division between like Democrats who are still like pushing against crypto, a certain narrative, and then the Republicans trying to say, no, we need more clarity. But you can start to feel that the Democrats are retreating and they're not as, anti-crypto as they used to be. And there seems to be just more awareness that what Gary Gensler is doing, he's starting to feel, at least from what I saw, it looks like he's getting isolated. So whoever his backer are or were, I think politically there's a wind change. So I don't know if that means that he's out of a job anytime soon, but I think Congress is ready to step in and be the authority and really provide clarity for United States citizens.
And that's the key point. Seriously, Dow, when you say clarity, that's the whole thing. There is no clarity. And he sits up there and talking about word salad. He doesn't say anything, and he's not doing his job. So how are people supposed to know? They don't, because there is no clarity. And he is the wrong person to have in the seat.
Yeah, and I know I'll go to you right now, Nicholas, but I'm sure you guys, if you didn't, I'll pin it up. But the viral video of the congressman or senator, I don't know what he is, but he was saying, these crypto bros are printing money and like, yeah, the U.S. government does that, but we're allowed to do it. So, okay, at least they admit, hey, half the part is getting them to admit, right? Like,
That's that gang shit.
Only we can print the money, yes. So go ahead, Nicholas.
Yeah, so from my opinion, which is not fact because I don't have all the information, United States, Canada, they always wanted to like create their own crypto money, the CBVS, and even lately, Biden administration, they pushed a couple of executive order to make it happen faster. So the government is kind of biased on really accepting cryptocurrency because it will mean that they have no control over it. But if they create their own cryptocurrency, they'll have the entire control over it. So there is always that argument that, yeah, they don't want it, but in the end, the government rather have control on stuff than anything else. And a good example I can give, in Canada right now, they started doing census, Bank of Canada, their own website, about what do you want in a digital money. So if Canada is already doing it, I mean, United States should be much more advanced. It's just they are not telling what they're doing yet until it's ready. And that's why I think that even though they can put the speech that they actually allow crypto, but in the end of the story, they always going to try to regulate it.
Did you guys hear that New York is going to start accepting stable coins for bail? Seriously.
That's crazy. Never underestimate the craziness in New York.
Like, so let's just say they make it illegal to use some stupid meme coin. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you get arrested for that. Then you pay in bail and stable coins. Like, I'm not on this because you can't really legally like buy these meme coins in New York. Like, whatever we have.
I was going to say, where are you going to buy them at, Nico?
Huh?
I was just going to say, you guys can't buy anything in New York. So
yeah.
How do they expect you to even get it?
Yeah. That's the thing. We can't even use Tether here. Tether is illegal here. Like, so I'm going to go up to the guy and give him bail in Tether. Am I going to get arrested for using Tether? Like, what's going to happen here? What's the deal? I'm so confused.
Yeah, it's insane. But to something, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, I did want to, since we mentioned Alameda, something else sparked up, and I did flood the top of the pin with the top of the nest with some pin. With some pinned tweets. Since we were talking about Alameda used to be the biggest market maker in crypto before the FTX collapse. And after that, Jump basically filled that role, Jump, and then you have Jane Street. And it was announced last week that they were exiting the U.S. markets from trading, which could be a correlation of why, the market has been very volatile, aka we've been dumping, because two of the biggest market makers have left the U.S. market. So something to keep an eye out on that. And then another thing that I wanted to bring up is that Robinhood announced that they're going to enable overnight trading, 24-hour trading for some stocks. So now stock traders can live the crypto life and be up 20 hours a day and sleep 4 hours a night, like we all do in this space. So some things to keep an eye out of what I saw, and I'll throw that back to you guys.
That's significant. Like those market makers, they provide liquidity for centralized exchanges. They provide like less volatility, as you're saying. So they're basically reacting of the lack of clarity from U.S. regulators and the risk of getting lawsuits and stuff like that. But the context, in my opinion, is that they're looking elsewhere. It's not that they're moving away from crypto. That specifically they're saying, well, U.S. is not providing clarity, so let's look at the UK. Let's look at MICA in Europe. Let's look at Hong Kong and Dubai, and can we continue operations there? So I think they're just moving the operations as opposed to like living crypto. But even if they were, I would still think it's a good thing because there is this change already, like this shift from centralized exchange to decentralized exchange in terms of volume and activity. So in a weird way, sometimes the regulators help decentralize the space, like and not that was not their intent, but the consequence of their actions means that it's clearer, at least when it comes to decentralization, than centralized actors.
Great point. Sorry, I was on the timeline, and RIP Twitter is trending. I swear to God, people on Twitter are freaking, they're marshmallows. That's how soft people are. RIP
That's
Twitter
facts,
is
Jess. Facts.
the same people that said they were leaving a year ago are back with the same chorus again.
I'm still waiting for everybody to move to Canada. So many people have been saying they're going to move to wherever in the last 10 years
Too
because
cold.
of whatever thing.
Move to Colombia, Brazil.
Well, wait.
Nah, don't
The
move to
election's
Canada.
coming
I'm
up,
from
so
Canada, and it's worse. Well, we have a lot of things free, but the president is shit here, so not good at all.
Yeah.
I agree with Jess. People get so triggered and so so opinionated. Like oh my God, my generation, we're just not like that. We're not like that.
One quick example, in Canada, they passed some laws, and I don't know what affiliation you are, but let's say you go on the street and it's freedom of speech. You can go on the street and talk about something, but they actually make it unlawful to talk about people that are trans or stuff like that, or if the things were happening with the schools. So if you talk about that, well, they send you to jail, actually. They don't even let you talk about it. Even though in freedom of speech, everybody can have an opinion, they actually start censoring some stuff here too.
Great, yeah, great points. And before we wrap it up, I have one other thing. I am actually skeptical about this information. So, Cointelegraph again added, but there is this blockchain and token called Metal Blockchain that is claiming that apparently they're integrating with FedNow. And I saw that Cointelegraph posted an article about it, and it just seemed really fishy because you couldn't find anything on, like, you can't find it. It was only the blockchain saying that. And it's just like, why would FedNow partner with a blockchain that has like a token and actually let normies like us benefit from that? That makes no sense to me. Have you guys ever heard of that blockchain? And
No.
yeah.
Not even. But I wouldn't trust CoinGraph. They actually try to push their own things most of the time.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, wow, after the PEPE space, and then I see this, I'm like, it just, one and one doesn't add up. Saying that they're going to integrate, I forgot what they said. They're going to integrate with FedNow so that you could use DeFi or some shit like that. I'm like, man, I'm not buying it. I'm not
So
buying it.
Fun fact.
they see Signet, which is like supposedly the best privatized blockchain. That's the one that Signature had, and they still sold it apparently. So I don't know. I don't know what this is like. Yeah, I've never. I agree with you that they're never gonna let like plebs like us go into a token like that. And Signet didn't really have a token. I think I'm not even sure how that worked. Nobody really knows how that works. But apparently, that was the most advanced like privatized blockchain, and it got seized, and they sold it off apparently. So if they don't want that, like, why would they go for that? For
Yeah, and
whatever
the
you're talking about.
website they were referencing looked bootleg as hell. But go ahead, Flu. I saw you were going to chime in.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I checked one of the listeners' portfolios, or sorry, profiles, and I had a fucking stroke. So, these are the dangers of scrolling on Twitter. Sorry.
Okay. So y'all keep an eye out. Do a little bit more research, but definitely look suspicious. And like somebody said, like be cautious with these media outlets. Anna, are you back?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, what happened?
Oh, Jimbo had come up, and it looks like he had tagged you on a post about SEC and Coinbase, and he wanted to know if you had any thoughts about it. But if you haven't read it, it's all good. No worries.
What
Yeah,
do you?
that's on my Nika. Nika, you want to go ahead?
No, go. I thought you were gonna read it and then come back. Sorry.
Yeah, I am gonna read it, and I mean, I did read it, but I want to look more into it because it's interesting that they're taking Coinbase's side over the SEC, right? So, yeah, I think this is definitely something that we should look into for sure.
Do you think there's like politics playing in Washington, and then the SEC is not necessarily speaking on the behalf of the government per se, but there's actually like a lot of fractionalization that's happening, and people not necessarily like on the same page, like between Congress, the CFTC, and other regulators?
I think it's what you were saying earlier about how, Republicans are clearly on the side of more adoption and trying to make this, trying to make crypto more, easier for normies to use and more mainstream, I guess. Whereas Democrats seem to be, more aggressive towards it. So I think maybe that's kind of what's going on. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, we'll see if this year we get some type of resolution. Well, whether it's going to play in our whether it's going to play in our favor or not, we'll just I doubt it, but I don't know, based upon like what I've seen in the past. But I don't know, we got to be optimistic and hopefully it does, but we'll see what happens. Another thing that I wanted to bring up, what was it? It was the ParaSpace NFT platform. Not sure if you guys heard about that drama. There was an NFT lending platform where apparently there was there's some type of divide between the founders. Again, I don't know the details, but at the end of the day, like right now, the users are at risk until the team settles it out. Brooke, I saw you put your emoji up. Anything you want to add to that?
Oh, well, and I'm driving, so I don't know about the background noise, but so I got all the windows down because it's finally nice out in Idaho. Yes, I am close to that team. I did get a complete rundown of what happened, and I'm still a little confused. So I don't necessarily want to. It was a break from the founder and I guess CEO. Now I can't remember his name. Starts with a Y, and he was essentially siphoning off funds from the insurance wallet, which nobody could understand why there wasn't a multi-sig on that insurance wallet. But it's all on chain and you can see it. And this was a separation between him and the rest of the team. And then he just kind of dropped off a call where they were like, what is going on here? Because the motivation doesn't seem like he would have made more money, just staying with the company in the way that the company was going, than siphoning off this it was almost like he was trying it just to see if he could, kind of thing. A lot of times scammers and people who are doing nefarious things do it because they can get it, because money isn't necessarily a motivator, but he did return money into the treasury, because it was like being moved from the treasury into the insurance wallet, and then he was siphoning that off into centralized exchanges. Like, again, their tweet was one of the best public, PR responses from a company that I've ever seen. So, like, shit happens, but their response was extremely responsible and transparent. And then he tweeted his like narrative, but the fact is he was unavailable. They were like on a phone call trying to figure stuff out, and he was just like, gotta go. And then they couldn't get a hold of him for like 30 hours, and they're trying to figure out where these funds are going. Again, he was 100% the only person on that insurance wallet, and that's where like the funds were going. But they are able to cover like the treasury funds. So I think that kind of idea that that customers are at risk isn't necessarily true. But I can find the tweet that I forwarded out or retweeted, whatever, that of their explanation, and they've got an entire spreadsheet, and you can watch the on-chain data. It's all there, but it really is. It's a human issue, a human greed issue, which I talk about a lot. It was this one person that saw an opportunity for whatever reason to siphon this money, but then did return part of it, and then apparently a ParaSpace whale, replaced the rest of it, from my understanding. And I did have a meeting with them. I am close to their. I'm gonna roll these windows up. I am friends with their chief officer and the rest of the team, but she sat and talked to me about it a little bit. And again, it's completely transparent. They've literally been using tweets to get in contact with him. I've heard some ridiculous things, and they don't mind if I say it. They're like, whatever you want to do, you can say what's happening. He will like have his mom call. It's one of the most bizarre things that I've experienced. However, I think the public issue is that funds are covered. Like, they're covered. There isn't, from my understanding, again, being close to the situation just by way of proxy friendship. I don't work for ParaSpace. I don't do content for ParaSpace. This is a professional sort of friendship connection. But it really was like a shock. Like, something happened with him, and then he's writing a narrative that is incorrect. So I really encourage people to go and like, read through their tweets, it's an entire spreadsheet of like literally times and dates of on-chain activity that they've put into a spreadsheet that shows exactly what happened and the confusion. But again, a whale did come in and cover it. A lot of big time lending customers, loan customers, did repay their loans to help the situation. And so, I'm still very much a huge fan of ParaSpace. Their team is some of the best that I've known. So I'm putting that out there on a space, in public, I guess, that I don't think there's anything to worry about other than the greed of people. We talked about that at the FTX thing. I really believe that this is not a blockchain issue or a crypto issue or a protocol issue or a company issue. It's a human greed problem. And blockchain and multi-sigs, and there's so many things that we can put into place to combat that. And that's one of the reasons I am here, because I'm fascinated with human greed and fraud and all of the things that people are capable of. And like, for me, technology has always been the foundational fix for it. And so that's what I'm saying is like this team recognizes how it could have been done better. But when you have a
and
founder,
I think that's a great point because I mean, obviously, the human element is always going to be there. So, and maybe I'll throw this to like Flu, who I know you have a project. How would they have eliminated this issue, or what do you think like projects can do to eliminate that human element? You know, you have somebody from the team that decides to go rogue, basically.
I mean, typically it's me going rogue, so I don't know if I would say that I'd want to prevent it entirely, but you know, like no, there's just you have to structure out things in a way that like makes sense for everyone, and also you have to like limit access in the same way that you would in the basics of security in other fields. Like same person who cuts the checks can't writes the check, like so on and so forth. Like until we get there with like our accounting systems on chain that can do all this shit, like we're gonna remain open to this sort of thing, and that's something that I actually do hope that Fedora can kind of help with, because like institutional adoption of this stuff is never going to happen at like the project or investment level until they, like the TradFi partners, can get their head around like, okay, well, we're protected because of this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason. It's because they're going to be gun shy for a long time. So to get institutional money back in here again, it's going to be an interesting road. Jim,
Yeah, especially when your your favorite influencers are out there pumping some random coin. I saw the Ben coin being pumped by Bitcoin. What's his name? BitBoy Crypto, and apparently the original founder of that token, admitted to like owning the liquidity. He was controlling the liquidity and market making. And everybody's like,
yeah,
yeah,
and he
let's get
fully
into
admitted to
this.
it.
yeah.
He fully
Did you
admitted
see
to
that
it.
did you guys see that he put BitBoy did put something out that he's taking it over?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Wild
it's
times.
his name is Ben, so it makes sense because his name is Ben Armstrong.
It does not make
I mean,
sense.
his name
Like,
is literally Ben. I mean, like I saw that announcement. I was just like, oh, it's his coin. Okay, cool. I never even knew.
no, actually, it does make sense because I mean, it just proves what everybody's been trying to say about certain character
Yeah,
all
well,
along.
you know that I don't vibe with that motherfucker anyway. Ever since I,
Do you think Ben will be around in 2024?
unfortunately, yes. Also, you said earlier, you
No.
said I think he's gonna be around.
The coin or the guy?
No,
The coin or the guy?
no, no. Oh,
The
no, the
coin,
coin. Fuck
and is
no.
this a legal
Yeah,
prediction?
fuck no. Absolutely
No,
not.
he will be like forever, but the coin will not be around.
Yeah.
Is that a legal prediction you're giving, Brooke?
Absolutely. I'm totally a lawyer. No. But if anybody, yeah, sorry, no, it's not a
No,
legal
I'm
prediction.
messing with you. I'm messing with you.
Brooke does not give legal or investment or financial advice. I know because I trapped her in my car for 3 days and she still wouldn't do it. Also, someone said earlier, my favorite influencer. Excuse me, ma'am or sir, whomever said that earlier, because my favorite influencer is Leslie Mota. So,
Same.
there's no fucking issues with my favorite influencer. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I meant that was probably more directed towards Daniel. Daniel has a love-hate relationship with BitBoy.
More hate
And
than
and
love.
I always think like, this idea of influencers and, maybe I'm just not in a uh, you know, silly mode, but like in all seriousness, when the first time somebody called me a TikTok influencer, I was like, oh, I threw up in my mouth a little bit. But maybe just because like I didn't like set out to be that. But it's something that's like important in this world. It's just like being a thought leader or a news anchor, or you have to take it seriously. And so when somebody actually thinks that about you, it's not that the word influencer or being an influencer is bad. It's the what you do with the responsibility of having influence over other people. And there's a very fine line between social engineering and and the influence and sort of control that you have over an audience. is, can be destructive. It can be like a drug. So, being an influencer is subjective, like whatever you want to call that. It's either good or bad. So I just always want to throw that, like, there's a lot of people who are considered influencers that are using it to, the benefit of the Commonwealth. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Fuck. Like, Jess, you're an influencer. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Like, why am I not allowed to tweet about me? And I being told by, somebody who recently passed the bar that if I do, I'm going to go to jail. But that same person can tweet about memes because they have less followers. Like, how does that make any sense? Like,
Yeah, but he tells me I'm going to go to jail. He tells everybody he's going to go to jail. We're going to go to jail.
He's told me for years that I'm going to go to jail, but he's probably right. So, like, to be honest, like, I'm not going to fade him.
With you, it's a little different.
Yeah, like, so that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe because he wants us to instill in our brains that we know who to contact to get out of jail.
This is like
that would be him.
This is like his Better Call Saul moment where he's like building up the client base finally. That's Johnny's like trip right now. He's on his season 2 shit.
You can't talk about anything because you're going to go to jail. But then when I don't talk about it, why don't you tell me about PEPE? You motherfucker, you've just been saying that I'm going to go to jail for the past 2 weeks, and now you want alpha on PEPE. Like,
he's trying to
Did you just call him out?
For the longest time, bro, like he was like, Flu, I lost money on Jewel. I lost money on this. I lost money on this. So I'm not listening to what you say anymore with NFTs. And then I called PEPE, and he aped in on PEPE. And now it's all like there's no recognition there or anything. He's not like, oh, thanks for my thousands and thousands of dollars, Flu. No, there's no like, oh yeah, I'm gonna soul mine now, Flu. It's just like, oh, you're going to jail, Flu. You're going to jail, Flu. Everybody's going to jail.
I thought he would ride or die with PEPE.
Listen, the way that the timeline is right now on Twitter, we're probably the only ones that are not going to be in jail because it is completely out of control. You take away a JPEG from a token, and all of a sudden, NFT influencers think it's fine to shill a meme coin, that it's completely different from shilling a rug NFT. It's the same shit. Like, JPEG or no JPEG.
It's actually worse with the token than it is the JPEG. It's a lot worse with the token. So I don't know what, like, it's like, I don't get what's going on. Yeah, it is. It's like that can fall as a security. It's not a JPEG, Anna.
Yeah, the JPEG, you have a memory of the rug, which is a picture in your wallet forever. What's up, Johnny?
First of all, what the fuck? Like, I tune in.
I didn't even say your name. I tune in.
I tune in. I just get home from being sworn in as an attorney.
Oh my God! Congrats!
Yes, I just came home from Minnesota.
So proud of you, Johnny.
Yeah. I get home from the Minnesota Supreme Court. I relax, take my suit off, throw on my favorite show, and everyone's talking shit about me and saying that I'm saying they're going to go to jail.
Nobody said your name.
First of all,
nobody said your name.
Flu.
I said
yes,
his name.
he did. Flu, you didn't put me on to PEPE.
Okay.
Legoat put me on to PEPE. And I fumbled
put
that
me
bag.
on to PEPE. You know who put you on to Legoat, motherfucker? Me.
Yeah.
I thought it was Jess that put us.
No.
Wasn't it Jess that?
She didn't say it till after the fact.
No, she didn't say it till after.
Oh, yeah. She was already like, yeah, wait, guys. She's like, I got it. Like, you got drunk and whatever. Yeah. But who said it in that chat?
And Jess,
in that chat. He follows my friend Goat.
Listen, I said that I would never bring this up again, Jess, but I pleaded with you to hold your bag. So don't ever. Okay?
No, I fumbled the bag, man.
And I fumbled my heart, so don't worry. We can commiserate. Anyways, good to be here.
I said the same thing.
Good to be here, influencers.
Congrats, Johnny. No, you know what? Like, I actually appreciate that you keep us on check. And, I know I reach out to you about certain things to make sure that I do things right. So definitely appreciate your input and your time. And I couldn't be happier that you got sworn in. Like, congrats. That's a huge deal. Like, how you degen and did everything else. Like, man, don't sleep on fucking Johnny.
Congratulations, Johnny.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, the degenning part is the
Congratulations.
most remarkable.
Congratulations,
Flu, and yes,
Johnny.
Flu. If anyone on the panel, I think Flu's the most confidently going to jail.
Yeah, no, that's actually true. Oh, it's not my fault. I mean, like, if I'm going to jail because of that, then Jess is too. Sorry, bad news, Jess.
No, it'll be for something else.
I haven't done anything. I'm scared to tweet about anything. But no, we appreciate you coming by. We were just joking with you. I think you keep us all in check. But are you still? Let's see. Are you still? So what's next now that you're officially sworn in as a lawyer?
I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I should dox myself on this world. I'm leaning towards no. Brooke, what are your thoughts on that?
You mean your name isn't Johnny?
Well,
yeah. That's
kind of.
Wait. You've been lying to us this whole time?
No, Nico. Brooke, what are your thoughts on doxing? Good pros and cons.
She's driving, so she might not be there.
Don't.
His face is on his profile. Like, does he know? Does he know?
Yeah, well, and you're gonna have to. I'm sorry, Johnny. You're gonna have to put it to the DMs because I do have a meeting at 1:00 and I am officially late. But man, congratulations! Great news. We're so happy for you. We will definitely be in your DMs. Make sure you check out. You set up that Web3 option for all of us. Because yeah, the influencers on the timeline, man, if they're not going to jail, I don't know. Something's wrong with our system. But I do want to thank everybody for coming. I especially want to thank our sponsor for today's show, which was Findora, and you can go back and play the recording if you want to learn more about them. I do want to thank all the speakers, and I want to throw it over to Dow and then Tammy.
Yeah, great space. Love the Findora guys. Sam's got horrible tasting coffee, but it sounds like a really terrific builder. So love to hear what these guys are building, and I think privacy is really important. Just my 2 cents, like a quick soapbox moment, but you know, if you pay attention to meme coin and the shit seeking gold, that's fine. But there are massive opportunities in the market. Like people are not paying attention to what's going on in DeFi. There's some really cool stuff. So the builders don't care about the bear market or bull market. They just keep on building. So keep attention to that. And I'll have a farmers market on MEV on maximum extractable value next Wednesday. So if you want to deep dive into the technicals, man, just follow me. All right, guys.
Are you going to talk about Jared from Subway?
Oh man, he's making money, right? We're gonna talk about like how all these guys, the searchers, the relayers, are taking a little bit of your transaction fees and how they make a whole lot of money. So if you want to catch the alpha, him and everybody else who's making money.
Love it. Definitely gonna tune into that and see how these MEV things work. Tammy, what's up? What you got going this week?
God, I don't even know. I can't even believe we're at the end of this week. And I feel like I've gotten so much accomplished and yet so much yet to do. So I know you need to go. So I just want to thank everybody for coming and supporting us each week. We really appreciate you guys. Couldn't do it without you. If you didn't get the opportunity to listen at the beginning, please go back and listen to Findora, Sam and his team. They were all phenomenal. Great things that they're working on. And I want to congratulate Johnny too, again, for his swearing in. That's totally cool. And anybody that needs the resident attorney for Web3, Johnny's your guy. Just saying. But thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a great weekend.
NFT collection from Johnny coming soon.
Let's go.
But what is his real name?
Oh, now that you I'll go really quick. Now that you're a sworn-in lawyer, are you allowed to give legal predictions about price movements, like the PEPE lawyer girl?
No, nor would I if I could.
Okay, just wanted to check. Well, again, thank you guys for coming. We'll be back next Friday. I hope everybody has a great weekend and talk to you guys soon.